Okay, hello YouTube coin community. It's me, Robert. Excuse me, Robert with Coin Up. How you doing, Farm Dog J Fry? Freaking awesome! Freaking! I said it before, I said it again. Like the short videos you're doing. How you doing, John Jacobs? Bill 457. If you're here, or I don't know if you're here at the food store, but welcome one and all. Guys, I took and Floor's home, and I wasn't planning on being on here, but it seems like everybody's going doing other things. So I'm just getting this all set up because I cannot take in that's just about the only way I can do it. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. There we go. Okay, good. Mute that. I gotta make certain. Okay, I'm just getting everything set up, guys. Nobody's here to run the show but me, so there you go. Hello, Ronald Harris. Floor. What the hell? Okay, I think my wife is outside and she's got a computer in the other room on, and I'm hearing feedback. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna take, and I know Brad's doing something, guys, but I'm gonna take and I'm gonna bring everybody up. Brad is gone somewhere. Blue, what do you got for us today? Anything, sweetheart?
Okay, yeah, I had to unmute my mic. Yeah, I just have a little something prepared, and hopefully everybody will be familiar with it or they'll be able to learn something.
Okay, well, that's good.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah, I like to surprise you anyway.
It's always a surprise, sweetheart. I'm getting feedback because I can't go to get the computer because Floor has got the computer in the other room on. And it's outside of my reach and I can't mute it.
Go like this and make her, come on, Flordelina, come back inside.
She's in there.
Hello, everybody.
Well, hello, Brad. Good to see you.
Turn that off.
You too, B. You're looking good today. What's up, honey?
Thank you. I got some rest.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Sleep is always good for me.
Well, apparently that's something that Flordelina never got.
She loves to sleep from what you told me.
So
it's my hobby. Sleeping is my hobby. Yeah, I love sleeping.
Sleeping with who is your hobby?
Sleeping, period.
Oh.
Just sleeping, getting some shut-eye. I always feel better. Hi, Flordelina. Yay, I'm so happy to see you.
Come on, Flor, let's see your face. I don't believe you're home. I think Robert's lying about you being there.
No, he's all
ecstatic. She's gonna have sleepy, I think, so she shows up. She's been sleeping. I've been trying to wake her for the last 2 hours.
Well, she got her time back. So she loses it, right? And then she gains it back, and that's tough. Jet lag is tough.
Well, basically, she's taken and living 2 Fridays.
Oh, it's just weird. It's
hey,
weird.
The blonde bomber will be here soon.
Okay.
Really? Wonderful. I've missed her. I miss her, yeah.
So I have a show report, Robert, and spot prices. Would you like me to do that?
That's fine. As far as I'm concerned, you are welcome to do it, Brad. Go for it. So,
all right, everybody. So May 15th through the 18th, the Early American Coppers are having their annual convention in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it's already started. You're missing some of the fun. Get there in a hurry. The 16th and the 17th is the Augusta Coin Club in Grovetown, Georgia, is having their show. On the 17th, the Lafayette, Indiana Coin Show, and of course, Lafayette, Indiana. On the 18th, the Onondaga Numismatic Association in Onondaga, New York. The Buffalo Numismatic Association in, of course, Buffalo, New York. The North Attleboro Coin Show, North Attleboro, Massachusetts. South St. Paul, Minnesota Coin Show in You guessed it, South St. Paul, Minnesota. Fort Lauderdale Monthly Show, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Old Bridge Coin Show in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Peatone Coin and Currency Show in Peatone, Illinois. Nashua, New Hampshire Coin Show, of course, again in Nashua, New Hampshire. And the Buckeye Coin Club Show in Columbus, Ohio. On the 24th, we have the Heartland Coin Club in Santee, California, and the Trevios Coin Show in Trevios, Pennsylvania. And on the 25th, the Ohio Coin and Collectible Show in Westlake, Ohio, and the Palm Beach Coin Show in Palm Beach, Florida. At press time, we had gold at $3,220, silver at $32.33, platinum at $988, palladium $947, and that other metal at $5,350. That is that report. Back to you, Robert.
Okay.
Hey,
And
Robert, I have a question.
go ahead.
There's the blonde bomber.
That's the question.
I sent you 3 pictures
I
a
got
little
'em.
bit about half an hour ago. You got them?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that later. I just wanted to make sure you had them.
Okay. Hello. Nick.
Welcome back,
Hello.
Blondie.
Hi, B. Happy belated Mother's Day. And happy belated Mother's Day to all of the mothers.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
Mother's
you.
Day, Robert.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to you too, Nick.
Thank you. We'll say happy Father's Day when it's your turn, Brad. Hold your
No,
horses,
Robert's
my
a
God.
mother.
Everything's not about you, Brad.
Yes, it is.
I'm so happy you're back. Oh,
I've missed
Yeah,
the
my
we
hair's standing up on
We
my
can quit
arm.
picking on B now and pick on you.
I don't care.
She doesn't care anyway, Brad. Right on. I feel much better. I
Thank
mean,
you,
like
Farm Dog.
much better.
Had a good
much
time in Chicago. Chicago was a big time, both coin show and restaurant wise.
Hi, freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, Brad. Do you have a good
Ronald?
time?
We were eating high on the hog, honey.
I bet. Lucky.
Oh, you had pork shoulder, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we found a new steak place that just opened. It was magnificent. And we went to our regular Italian place with the singing. They had a male singer this time serenading us. So they have live entertainment on Friday and
Nice.
Saturday nights. Yeah.
Nuts. I
So,
love that.
You're sitting there eating and he starts singing and you're looking around trying to figure out who's going to get whacked.
Oh,
You
stop
haven't
it.
watched the old movies where they got the Italian
You
thing?
watch too much movies if that's what you really think. Are you serious?
I don't watch the old movies. I read the old history instead.
He's talking about, the wise
Oh.
guy mob thing.
Oh, well, I'm thinking about Al Capone, so that's what I meant by that.
Yeah, well, you were on the right track. That's what he's talking
But
about.
you know,
Yeah,
Al Capone
we'd like to tie her down to the railroad track.
The
Al
Godfather
Capone
thing.
started in New York, though, FYI. He grew up in New York. He grew up in the Bronx.
Yo, what are you talking about?
I don't even want to talk about it. I know some real ones. Yeah, that's not no movie. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it because you don't talk about stuff is what you do.
Or you'll get whacked.
No, but you'll get talked to, definitely.
Yeah, you'll be.
It's
sleeping
not what
with
it
the fishes.
is.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes
Sleeping
or
with
having
the
a
fishes.
dead horse head in your bed.
Or concrete feet.
What did you say? A dead horse head in your bed? What?
You haven't seen the movie, Brad?
Come on, Brad.
Come on, Brad. That's the only
He's full of it.
Robert. I don't know how
I
you
said.
stand him.
So you were saying
I
there's going to
heard
be
him,
a
and
dead
I'm trying to.
prostitute's head in my bed? Is that?
Huh?
And it went south.
Concrete feet.
Pretty much.
Concrete feet. Soap boxes. They put your feet in them. They pour concrete in them and they throw you over. Concrete feet. Yeah, fun. Anyway, okay. I'll shut
right.
up.
Promise?
Yes, I promise.
Okay.
Okay.
So everybody out there,
Oh, freaking
Wow.
Awesome's so sweet.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Very
He's
sweet.
He does some good videos. I like watching his short videos.
I do too.
I do too. I've been watching them too, you guys. And I
I've heard
encourage it.
in my office, I've heard a lot about the stuff too that he's been posting. Not from the government, but from callers. People want to call in and say, stuff about the airplanes and
I got an email from the grassy knoll.
You did, really? What did it
Yeah.
say, Brad?
See, I can't roll my eyes, but that's what I'm doing.
See, I'm trying to take it. I'm trying to.
When you see me go like this, just like her, just like Nick.
I don't even think I have
Oh.
had a girl in a long time.
He's killing me, Nick. He's killing me. I go like this.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Ronald, they make you stand there and think about it for a little while, don't they? So, all of you at home,
Yes.
I have a challenge for you. I'm going to do it a little bit later in the podcast. I'm going to show you an interesting coin from my collection with a backstory. So, if you have time at home to snap a picture of one of your coins and send it to Robert, put your email address up. If you can, snap a picture of a coin you have with a great backstory. Send it to Robert, and let's hear your backstory about that coin.
That makes me happy.
Are you really happy, B?
Yeah, because I'm not perfect and other people aren't. It just makes me so happy when they're not perfect too. Because I don't know, you were cracking me up, Nick. Whatever.
My daughter's cat decided to follow me downstairs. And before the podcast, I was putting clothes on the rack, and he thinks that he should play with them.
Well, that's better than using your leg as a
I love
scratching post.
kitties. I love kitties.
I like him when he's sleeping.
Yeah, we liked you last week.
Let me ask you, Nick, is he a pill? My mother used to say that. She'd go, he's such a pill. Is he a pill?
I don't know how to.
It's a weird one, huh?
He's sweet. He's sweet, but he's still a kitten yet, so he still gets on my nerves.
Oh, he's a baby. Okay. Okay. My dog acts just like a 3-year-old kid.
Milton. Oh, the kid.
Just like a 3-year-old kid.
He doesn't stop. I'm taking him upstairs.
She's gonna get him.
Wow, the Walker magnet doesn't know anything about us.
What does he say? Who? Where? What? Why? Oh, yeah.
So I will be with you guys more often now because I am off for the summer.
Are you? Yay! That had to make me happy.
Don't let her kid you.
She has to be happy about that. I'd be dancing.
Woo!
Now
Nick,
she can do what she wants.
What's the new sign there that says NTO?
You don't know what that is? That says Nick.
That's an O.
It matches the t-shirt I gave her.
My little nephew bought that for me.
How nice.
That is so cool.
Yeah, he saw that at Hobby Lobby. He says, I got to get that for Auntie. So
what's he doing at Hobby Lobby?
One person in the world who loves you.
His mother probably made him.
Because she's going there.
Because she's going there, yeah.
I love those stories.
But he's 9 years old. For him to think of me and pick out all the, just the 3 letters, because that's my nickname at home too. I mean, with my name, so he calls me Auntie, or everybody calls me Nick. So
okay, so Walker magnet.
So cool.
There's 2 ways you can go about that. There's the old 5-volume set. I can't remember who did it. Haxby. There's a 5-volume, I think it's 5-volume set Haxby. They've been out of print for a long time. A set is probably going to cost you $600 to $750. Or Whitman was putting out a new reference that was written by Q. David Bowers before he got sick. There hasn't been a new one in a while. They've covered about, I would say, 3/4 of the states that issued them, and they're varying in price depending on the thickness of the volume. But those are the two options for obsolete currency information.
Ronald, I am, but it's calmed down quite a bit. So we were actually able to get caught up on our work and actually do our work.
Really? Is that what was going on? Probably because it's prior to time off, right? Because you're going to have time off, so you have to get all your stuff.
No, well, we had to get all our work done, but we weren't able to because of the new administration change.
Yeah.
We were hearing, and of course, with a lot of what's going on within my state. So,
Oh my, there's a lot going on.
yeah, so everything calmed down quite a bit. So I was able to get
Really?
up
As far
and
as
be off the summer.
Yay! I feel happy for her.
hey, I'm glad you guys could get caught up. But Walker Magnet has a real question. The Kelly guide is on national currency. I don't think he did an obsolete currency book, but he did nationals, large and small size, starting in the 1870s and running up through 1929.
Let's rename the podcast The Brad Show.
I'm just trying to help the people numismatically, dear. Thank you, Flordelina.
She's back. Isn't that right? She's back from her trip.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in the back room. She wouldn't come out and show herself.
So
She
happy.
still has sleepy eye face on. She hasn't woke up fully yet.
Well,
Well,
I'm
she
glad.
got her time back.
I'm glad she's home safe, and I'm sure you're glad to have her home.
I am very good.
Oh God,
Yeah.
he was a whiny
Nice
mess
thing to
the
say, Nick.
last couple of weeks.
I didn't ask you,
Why
Brad.
the people, me and you never got a chance to even go out and do anything. So hush.
Brad, when I have, oh, there's the pretty lady.
Hi,
Hi, welcome home. Thank
look
you.
at that.
So good to
Hey,
see you.
Nice tan.
You look great.
Nice
Even though
tan.
you're tired, you're great. You look great, honey. So happy to see her.
She was such a beautiful lady.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Robert's lucky to have her. Yes, he is.
Oh yeah, Robert's lucky to have her. I'm just trying to think of how how did Flordelina lose that bet?
Who said she lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's all how you look at
Every
it.
now and then when you're in the bathroom, we talk.
Yeah, well, you know what? Filipinos are known for BS.
Just the
I have had more luck selling everything but coins with the occasional nice Morgan. Why are you having a hard time selling your coins?
Because maybe like you, Nick, they're too much.
Brad, I haven't sold anything to you or even given you any of my
That's
prices.
no, it's boom, boom. That's how it goes.
Yes,
I said
she did,
hi.
Jackie.
I said hi.
Oh,
She's here.
Brad,
Yay.
do you have my picture that I sent to you yesterday with the
Lobster?
yes, please show Robert that because they just said that Flora probably had a lot of good food, and I'm sure she did. But I've got to show you this, Robert.
Okay, yeah.
I wish I would have taken. I wish I would have taken a picture of my meal because or everybody's meal at the table that day. And this place has the longest in the world lobster roll. And not only is it just the roll, I mean, it's so much lobster you have to take your fork and eat out of it, the roll first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds
It was-
good.
But I had the clams, Robert.
I love me some good lobster. I mean, I also like I like
just
a lot
sent
of
it to
seafood.
you, Robert. I just sent you the picture. You can put it up when you get it.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
I love seafood.
So once since I've been gone, has Brad had any more computer issues? Because he hasn't called his IT person lately about them.
No, I just let somebody else do the computer work.
Yeah, me.
Still love you. I don't know why, but
I'll be laughing about this later on in the afternoon. Thinking about it, I'll be thinking, "Woo, that was good. Woo, that was good." Makes me
what, your
happy.
lunch? What?
No, just the whole entertainment. I'm so entertained.
Yeah, you
I
know
love
you're
it.
mean when you see buildings like this.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, like,
Oh, Nick. Wow. Right on.
and you can see
Lobster
you can
claw.
also tell the tourists from the Mainers because there's another big lobster up front of the restaurant where everybody takes pictures. So everybody was lining up, and I'm like, "Yep, they're the tourists. They're the people coming in." So
I could only think of one thing when you sent me that.
what?
Run for your life! There's a lobster loose! Ah!
Oh no, we'll find a way to boil that and eat it.
I think it would be a little tough.
Be careful when you pick them up. Be careful when you pick them up. You know, like I've taken them out of the aquarium, Nick. It's not an aquarium, it's a holding tank. Do
Oh, I
you
know
in the
what you mean,
holding tank? Put them in the steamer, shut the door, and turn that baby on. And
You don't clip the rubber band.
oh, woman, they can pinch you with their tail. Not just this, not just the claws. If you touch them anywhere near their tail, they'll pinch your finger with their tail. Oh yeah, it'll take a big old chunk out of your finger.
You just gotta know where to hold it, but because usually we'll take them off right off the lobster boat, right out of the traps when we get them.
Now, Blue,
well, she knows how to handle it, is what I'm saying.
I would take a piece of your finger off if you touched mine too.
She knows how to handle it. I can tell 100% because she didn't get pinched. If you
already answered,
you're good, girl. Yes, and the claw tastes completely, to me, the texture and everything is different than the tail. You know, so claw is very soft meat, and it's just, yeah. I ate some in Hawaii when I was there. Why, I don't know. And this woman that we were with was from the she was Polynesian, or I don't know where, somewhere over there, and she took this whole lobster apart like I couldn't believe. I'd never seen anything like it. She took the whole thing apart and got all the meat out of it, and I was impressed. Like, wow. Have you guys ever seen that? Have you seen that, Nick? Oh, wow. It was quite a show. And everybody at the table was just going like this.
So she corked it like a sea otter would, right?
Yeah, she took it apart like nobody's business. I was impressed. I've never seen anything like that. And
what did you do?
She took the whole lobster apart and took every piece of meat out of it.
Oh, my bad. Yes, my mother does that, and I can't stand it because
okay, so
you just twist it and then you open it up, and then there's like so my mom had the whole lobster, and I'm just like, do we have to? I would much rather have the lobster roll where it's already done for me. And
somebody doesn't want to get her fingers dirty.
No, I don't want to.
When I eat lobster, I've got
right,
butter dripping off of my elbows.
Oh my word! You probably
gross.
have bibs.
Nick,
they have bibs up here for
stop looking at Brad for a second. It's gross, huh? It's kind of gross
is.
If your
mom
just starts tearing the whole thing apart.
I mean, to tear it apart's not gross. It's what the inside looks like. That's gross.
Wow. I was shocked at first, and then I just watched the whole thing. Like,
Brad, I just don't want to work. I don't want to work that hard for my food because I'm 125 pounds. So when I'm hungry, and I get ugly when I'm hungry. It's like I'm a Snicker bar commercial.
Hold it. You could have stopped that sentence halfway through.
I believe her. I believe her. I know she's left doing this podcast because she was hungry.
So what's up with coins? Anything new?
Okay, well, let me answer Chaya Trump. Chaya, Brad's partner, Dave, he sells on eBay. I think they got somebody that comes in and buys from them, and they sell on Whatnot, and I sell on YouTube Mondays and Fridays. And just repetitiveness. We have another person, Joe Durbin. He also does as well. But yeah, just a bunch of repetitiveness. Now, okay, I'm ready, Nick. Go for it. What was
Hold
Okay,
on
well,
just a
can I follow up with what your answer as well? I have sold coins on eBay before, but I won't anymore because of the high fees that I have to pay. So a good place to start is peer to peer as well, because I'm not going to sell mine on. Robert has great auctions. Joe Durbin has great auctions. I'm just not good at auctions, so sometimes just peer to peer. Send out a mass email if you know people and have a list of what you have and what you want to sell.
Can I answer Walker Magnet's comment on 324? He sent me an email. Okay, the Don Kelly obsolete. I am not familiar with that book, but there is nothing less expensive than that in the marketplace. Everything that I know of is a multi-volume set. So, and that obviously cannot cover everything because there's the Haxby's of five 3-inch volumes to cover all of them. So I don't know exactly what Don decided to cover and not cover, but there's nothing that I know of less expensive than that.
I do have a question for you, Robert, too. So we all know Kagan, right? That owns that California, Donald Kagan, I believe.
Young Don?
Yes. I don't know. He doesn't look, I mean, is he young? Compared to me, he's not.
Compared to his dad, he is.
Oh, is his dad still living?
No. It's okay. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Okay. So he is selling, and if you give me a second, I'll look it up exactly what it is, but he's selling NTFs or NFTs. I'm sorry, NFTs. With,
yeah.
Do you saw that, Brad?
NFC, not for circulation, or
no?
He's selling something that you can't own.
Oh, okay.
But saying that if you want a piece of history and you want to own a tiny piece of history, you could buy into this. And I was just wanting to get your opinion, or if you can explain exactly how that would work. Would it go up in value?
Why don't you just send me money and I will make sure that you own a piece of the cross that Jesus was crucified on.
Listen, I understand, but I figured we could have conversation about it. I mean, I thought it was an interesting concept. It's the first of its kind.
No, it's not an interesting concept. People are selling pieces of nothing. Would you like to buy a piece of nothing?
Okay,
Brad.
Hold on, guys. I think it's a great discussion, Nick, because it is similar to gold and or silver when people are buying them and saying, hey, we'll sell you this gold and we're going to store it away for you over here. So I think it's a great subject, and it's one that I do tend to agree with. Now, Brad, don't just back your head up a little bit. It's already big enough. But I agree with Brad that this is something that, it's just like what he just said. What is it he's selling? I think it's part of a
$100,000 bill. And it's and it's of course being advertised as own a piece of American history.
Right.
Does anybody remember El Paso gold and silver from the 1980s?
It's a 1970s.
Go ahead, Nick.
It's a 1930.
Okay, Nick, go ahead now.
It's a 1934 $100,000 U.S. gold certificate, and has a remarkable story that very few have heard in its entirety. As the steward of this only specimen available to private collectors, I'm thrilled to share recent conversations here where I've revealed both about its extraordinary history and innovative approach to be shared and to be shared ownership.
Okay, now I do want to hear Brad's. Go ahead, Brad, now, because I do know you know a little bit about this history and that you can share, and it may help you, Nick, if Brad doesn't act foolish.
And be mature. Be mature. That's all I'm asking.
That's no fun.
Well, the reason
I
why I
know.
thought it was an interesting topic is he's saying it's the first of its kind with gold and silver or currency.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Robert mentioned the buy the gold and we'll store it for you deal, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, I would never do that.
So Nick, you're not old enough to know about El Paso Gold and Silver, right? So in the late 1970s, they would sell you gold at a razor thin margin, and they would store it in their secure vaults, and they charged you very little to store it, and it was very safe. In fact, they invited you to come down to the facility anytime you were in El Paso and visit and see your gold and silver, right? So you're thinking, great, I'm in El Paso, I'm going to go in. And so you go into the secretary and you go, hi, I'm here, to look in my vault. And she goes, oh, okay, takes your name and, your ID, and basically puts on the computer that, Joe Smith is here and they look up and see what Joe Smith is supposed to have in his vault, right? So in the time it takes you to get through security and down into the vault, they've taken the back plate off of the vault, filled up your cubicle with enough gold and silver for your account, and bolted the steel back on the vault. So you open the combination lock. There's your gold and silver. You count it, you look at it, you feel it, you fondle it. You close it up, you leave. They take the back off the vault and take your gold and silver back out and wait for the next person to show up to count their gold and silver. Well, this was all well and good until gold and silver took off in 1980 and everybody wanted to sell. And they didn't have enough gold and silver on hand.
That sounds like a banking crisis.
And they grabbed what they had and went to Mexico.
Okay, but that's not uncommon today. There's
Ponzi scheme is similar to a
Is that why we've never met anybody else in your family?
Silver gold bull is one example of a vaulting where you can they send you your stuff if you want to buy it from them. They'll send it, but then they also will ask, well, we can store it for you in our vault for this tiny fee monthly. And there's also, I know there's several vaulting facilities in California now too. I mean, we don't have those up in my area, but and I know
have you seen them?
Oh,
Have you
do,
seen?
Nick, you do.
Yeah,
Nick, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you may not have found it yet. You may not have recognized it because they go under different names, but it's there's a lot of this going on. And here's the deal for history. Ever since gold was construed as a monetary instrument, this has been going on forever and ever and ever. Exactly as Brad says, it's just been going on forever. Now, this $100,000 note, Brad, help me with this because this is the only question I have. He says it being the only one. Well, now, wait a minute. I thought it was illegal to own a $100,000 note in the private sector.
They were never monetized other than for banking transactions. So
you cannot own a private issued piece of the pie.
I'll tell you what, you can send me money and I'll sell you a portion of the Sistine Chapel.
Okay.
He has a podcast as well, but I think it's not on YouTube, but it's just something that you can hear. And I got the link to that as well. So I have to go to Boston tomorrow. So I'm gonna listen to that. I'm very interested just to see what he has to say as well.
I don't blame you for being interested and to see what people think is legitimate. I want physical, so I know it's legit. When it comes to paper,
well, that's what our community is about.
But I know you're doing this for everyone's benefit, Nick. This is a good thing. I know what you're.
I like to know what's out there. I think it's very important that we all keep up with what's going on.
She's not saying that she did it, Brad.
No, I would never know it. If I don't
bring it up,
if I don't hold it,
she's trying to bring attention to it, Brad.
Okay,
that's
Nick,
why
what I'd like to ask you is see if you can't do some research on the legality of actually owning. Because if you can't own a 100, because that's what, see, I'm like Brad. I did not think that these, listen, I've seen sheets of $100,000 notes, both the obverse and the reverse, that the United States Mint. Go ahead, Brad.
Front and back.
Oh,
Notes are front and back.
You're right. You're
Oh,
right.
sorry.
Okay, my bad. Yes, I'm too used to coins. I apologize, folks, but he's right. Front and back. I mean, what is it? 3.2 million per sheet, and I've seen them both side by side.
Yeah, well, but that's owned by the Treasury, and it was never issued. They just bring it out and show it off.
Well, you're right, and I believe the one is strictly. I think it's all zeros and maybe 1 and it might even be all zeros, and then the one that you see the back, it might have the 1 on it. I don't remember, but
I just don't understand how you would make money off that, though. If you just, I mean, is it
because what Brad? Okay, but it's because of what Brad's saying. Again, and in a very polite way, Nick, I can tell you that I'm going to sell you part of the library at the name whatever library you would like, but you're never going to take in, you're never going to hold it. You're never, I think it might be I don't know, but that's what I say. Look and see. I will.
How about I could do you one better? Why don't we just have him on this program? If you guys, we'll talk about it, but
I would like to know more about the legalities and know more about it prior to.
Okay, well, I'll do that then. I'll do my research. I have an 8-hour trip tomorrow, so I have plenty of time.
Do your research first, because
really, the last time some blonde went out, it was for a 3-hour tour.
It's Gilligan's Island. He's talking about Gilligan's Island.
I know what he's talking about. It wasn't the blonde who was driving; it was the skipper. So shush.
Nick had a pop culture reference that she got right. Wow.
It was actually Gilligan's fault.
Please do, Nick. Do the
I will. I'm very interested
to hear about it from you, and the only reason I don't want to bring him on the show without research first is I want to be able to know what we're talking about, and I do not want to encourage something that maybe is a little questionable.
Ask him if he'll do a live interview with Robert or something, some type of interview.
Not with Robert, because I don't know enough of the law yet.
We'll get the laws and stuff first, and we can go from there.
Better be careful. The law might be at your back door knocking right now.
But if
maybe yours too, Brad.
Don't get lost on Jekyll Island. I've been to Jekyll Island several times.
Try. The skipper was blonde.
Oh, the skipper was blonde?
He hired Gilligan. That was his problem.
He always wore a hat, but he was gray.
And Ant 2242,
you
can't employ the incompetent. I know from firsthand knowledge.
So if I was to buy, I was going to buy into this $100,000 note for $100. How if I said I want to sell, how am I going to make?
Okay, hold on. Say what you just said again, please.
Percentage.
We'll say I wanted to buy into this. It's just I'm just hypothetically. Brad, don't get any ideas. And I bought $100. I invested $100 into this. And now, if I'm going to sell, but we have a certain limit on how much it's worth, how am I going to make money?
Only when it's worth more.
But how and who can determine if it's only one out there?
Nick, it's called the greater fool theory.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, if there's only one out there, who can determine the exact value?
Well, okay, but Nick, and again, I'm going to be a little bit politer about it. Think about what Brad said, though. He is correct. Supposedly, and I know this is not correct, but supposedly Barnum and Bailey said there's a fool born every day and two
I know.
No, Robert, every minute.
Get it right.
I understand.
Get it right, Robert.
I understand what everybody's saying on the panel. I get that. I get the concept. I understand that. But I'm trying to see if they were to explain it as the person selling, if they're trying to sell this to somebody, how can they answer those questions? I mean, what do they say? I mean, they just going to say lie to you, or like evidently lie to you, but
well, the person that Brad was referencing earlier was just a big, basically, I mean, it's Nick for a sad thing, and I hope you don't get us blown off of the channel, but for the same reason that banks are a Ponzi scheme, and Mirdoff was just basically mimicking what the banks were doing, but he's not the government, so he got, or the Federal Reserve, so he got thrown in prison for doing the absolute exact same thing that the government and the Federal Reserve was doing. So, I mean, it's basically it's a Ponzi scheme, is all it is.
Nick, you want to buy some old 20 libs and saints today at 1% over melt?
Did you guys see what I put in the chat? It's called paper gold.
Well, Brett, I'm sorry, Bill, I understand the concept, and I understand everything around that. I'm trying to get into the mind of people that do this and how they're able to sell it. How they're able to get away with it, and how
they have no morals or scruples, and they don't care about anybody. You know, they can sell them little kids to go to day camp. I swear, Nick.
This is a big topic, though, because NFTs. I mean, we're talking about art,
but I think it's good that you bring this up because it's going to teach people. And Brad, you need to do a better job of explaining it. Robert could do a little bit of finesse too.
Yeah, but it's not that I don't understand this stuff, but I mean, it just having
for others, not just you. Everybody that's listening should get a little wiser. You know,
really, no, but everybody already thinks I'm a wise ass.
Well, you are.
That goes without being said.
And there's a better way to say it, like smart. Okay, moving along.
I mean, because what I could mean, you could buy into. We'll say I could say an NFT for my hair. You could buy in to have a piece of my hair. I mean, seriously,
one strand, just like one strand.
I mean, but I mean, it's something as silly as that. I mean,
how do they? What she's saying is, how do they justify what they're selling, or what? Well, they're really selling something. You're not getting a piece of nothing, but poof, air. It's been going on.
I understand that, I do, but I was just talking about when it comes to a very
how they do it, how they justify
how they could determine the value on something that unique.
Right. I totally get it. You know what? Ask them if they have insurance.
That's a good question, but I'm going to research it first. I want to research the laws and stuff first, and because that'll be
as dumb as I look. Ask them if they have insurance, because insurance is everything.
Oh my word!
FDIC insurance, baby.
Yeah. Well, we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, it's a whole other topic, right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm not going to even say that name. I'm not going to even say the name that was on that. Not even going to go there.
I'm just sitting here. I was just.
So, does anybody out there is anybody out there taking me up on my challenge to show one of their coins with a great backstory?
I just showed one.
That doesn't have a great backstory, Robert.
Are you sure?
Well, what do you mean? What is a great backstory? I mean, I've got tons of stories when it comes to my coins, but who knows?
Well, you lie about your coins all the time, but that's okay. That was not quite an eye roll. It was just an upper, you know. Okay. Kind of looked a little bit like Marty Feldman for a minute.
I have one that's like has a little tiny story, and that's it. I can't think of anything.
Well, what's that, B?
Not right now. I thought we were doing it next week.
Oh no, that's
right
today,
now.
For now.
I don't have the coin in front of me, but I think I told you guys this. There was a whole roll of quarters that were opened at the bar I was working at. And the bartender, she was like upset that all of them were missing the back. It was like a clad issue, you know, where they were all missing the
1970, right?
whole roll of them. No, no, no.
1970
1970, you're thinking the
It was
quarters that
it
were
was
stuck on
90
down
something, Brad.
on nickel planchets, Robert.
dime.
They were Washington quarters, and they were all missing the reverse clad.
Oh, okay.
I remember you guys talking
Whole roll of them. And I'm like, oh, you know, and I couldn't do anything about it. They won't let you do that stuff. Buy them, you know, like she
I
could have
remember
done.
you talking about this. Didn't you show one at one time? Because I remember.
Yeah. I have one of them.
So Ant has a good he's
Does
got a coin, but
anybody
he's not
else?
at home
Yeah.
right now. And he said that let me see if I can find it again. That I can't show it right now. When I was a kid, I found a very nice variety and didn't realize it until 2018, 2019.
What was it? What was
Yeah,
the
I'm curious to
variety?
know the variety.
Yeah, we want to know what the variety is. What about you, Walker? Walker's got a lot of stories about all kinds of stuff, I bet. Yes. At least that's the way I see it, you know? Yeah, I bet she's got some good stories. And I love story time and show and tell.
Well, Ant says it's a surprise.
Well, it's both. It's
What did he
both
say?
show and tell. And
I love show and tell. Oh, yeah. Nice art or old currency.
yes, it is PG.
I agree with. Put up Walker's comment, Robert, would ya? His last comment. Look at this. Me too. I agree. Me too. I totally agree. Yes. I see it as art.
That's really cool, Robert.
It's a centavo of some sort.
Hey, Robert, put up your email again when you get a chance, quick. Or Floor, send it to Ant2242.
I see what
Oh, that's one of those Filipino coins that were made wrong.
It slipped off, right? Whoops. That's nice. Those are nice, Robert. I like those.
Yeah, Bill, show it.
What is Bill saying? I have a Tonka toy I got for my birthday. Can show.
Now, how much is something like that worth, Robert?
Good question.
I honestly do not know, other than 450 pesos is what Floor paid for this one.
So convert it really quick, Nick. Come on.
27 cents.
Oh, there goes Brad. 27.
No, Brad, try about $8.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
He don't.
Yeah. But he likes to shoot it out there, doesn't he? Yeah, likes to shoot it out there.
You should share, Ronald.
I want to see all their stuff. I told you, I love show and tell.
Yeah, and that would be fine. Airs to you at AOL.com. Let's see here.
She looks pretty good, Chad. She looks pretty good. Flordelina peeped her head in for a couple seconds there. She looks pretty good.
So, Robert, you want to throw the first image up that I sent you?
Okay, I can. Hold on.
That would be the full image with the okay.
I got to get things up and running here.
There you go. All right. So I took a quick trip down to CAC Tuesday, and I just got back yesterday evening, and this is one of the pieces that I had encapsulated. It was formerly in an NGC holder, and it crossed over to the new CAC holder. But this is the first expensive coin I ever bought. In 1976, the Penn, Ohio Coin Show was in Cincinnati, and I decided I was going to.
Time ago. Holy crap!
Yes, it was. I decided I was going to go to the show and I was going to buy the prettiest proof buffalo nickel at the show for my typeset.
And you wasn't
And-
wearing your glasses.
I wasn't wearing my glasses. You're right. And so we discussed it at the shop weeks beforehand, you know, what we were going to do at the show and different things. And there was a police officer that worked part-time at the shop. And so I went down and I was standing in line to get into the show the first day. And he's in full uniform working security at the show. And he walks down the line of people and he goes, "Hey, Brad, look what I bought last night at Dealer Setup." And what did he hand me?
This coin.
No, a proof buffalo nickel.
Jeez.
Oh, I see.
So I couldn't get in Dealer Setup night. So I was there waiting on the first day, and he took my idea and bought the coin. Well, now remember, he's a police sergeant in full uniform because he's working security. And I IMF him up one side and down the other. People standing around me are looking at me like, "You're going to get arrested, kid." I was pissed.
It's a good story.
I go onto the floor of the show and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to buy a proof buffalo nickel. I'm going to buy an uncirculated bust half for my typeset. So I went around the floor and I found 3 or 4 possibilities. And I came back and I got the owner of the shop where I was working, which I eventually bought. And I said, "Hey, I want you to look at these coins and tell me which one of the group you would buy." So I took him around the floor and showed him the coins that I was considering. And he goes, "Let me make another suggestion." And he takes me over to Joe Flynn's table. And Joe Flynn was, I think, from Nebraska, pretty big dealer of the time. And he had this coin out in the middle of the case with nothing around it. So for those that don't know, this is the rarest date other than the 17/14 in the bust half dollar series. And the owner of the shop said, "For the money you're going to spend, this is just a little bit more, but I would buy this coin." And so we looked at it and we go, "Joe, is there a better price?" And Joe looks at, the owner of the shop at the time. He was the bourse chairman of the show. And he goes, "I'm the bourse chairman of the show. My employee would like to buy this coin. Can you give us a little better price?" And Joe looked at us and said, "No, it's rare. If you want it, you'll buy it." Well, my first indication was, "Screw you, Joe. I don't need your coin." And I was about ready to say something. And the owner put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Brad, I think you ought to pay the man." So I'm like, okay. So I paid $750 for the coin, which is the same amount of money that a couple of months before I paid for my first car.
But when was your first car purchased?
1976. Pay attention.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you lost me there for a sec.
So I go home from the show beaming, and this is before slabbing, of course. So the coin's in a capital plastic holder. I go home and my dad says, "How'd you do at the show today?" And I said, "I did great, Dad. Look at this." Showed him the half dollar. He goes, "Oh, great." He doesn't know anything about coins, but he goes, "What did this set you back?" I said, $750. Well, my mother was in the room. At that point, Hiroshima would have been a firecracker. Mom blew the top off of the house, going apeshit over the fact that I paid the same amount for a half dollar that I just paid for a car. So my dad finally looked, calms her down a little bit. He looks at me and he goes, "Did Randy help you buy the coin?" I said, "Yes, sir, he did." And he turned to my mother, and it's the only time in my life I ever remember my father saying this to my mother, looked her in the eye and said, "Shut up."
Wow, I would have slapped him.
No, I mean, I understand.
I'm
And
You
teasing.
should have been a little nicer about it.
Well,
teasing.
but anyway, show the close up of the coin that I have
You
close
know,
up.
in a
that,
nice way, tell her to shut
You know, I had hopes that the coin might grade AU50, but it's XF45. I think it's one of the nicer 45s I've ever seen.
So
And,
what is it worth now?
I would not take 10,000 for the coin right now. But now,
Wow. I mean, that's great.
Is that crazy, Nick? That's crazy, huh, Nick?
That is crazy. But if you think about it, had I invested $750 in
the stock market,
in the stock market in 76, I'd have a lot more than 10 grand today. So you want to show the reverse, Robert, or are you just keeping that a secret?
Or you may have lost too. You don't know.
I was waiting for you to tell me there, Cupcake.
And there's some nice clash marks, but it's really a keystone of my set. I'm really, really happy with it. And I'd stack it up against any XF out there.
It's sentimental, Brad. It's so sentimental. That's what it is.
So when you fly, Brad, and you go pick them up, do you have them in your carry-on? Do you carry them on your person, or do you check them in your bag?
That's something that nobody needs to know the answer to.
Oh, well.
Hold it.
Yeah,
Nick,
you want to
Nick, if you have a sack of $100 bills, are you going to check it?
Are you going to tell everybody
or are you
going
to carry it on?
Not unless I have an Apple tag on it.
Don't tell anybody. The key to security is keeping your mouth shut. Yeah. Anybody can argue with me? Is anybody going to argue with me? I don't think so. Okay.
No,
beautiful coin, Brad.
The coin is pretty much the way it was because it's been sealed in an NGC slab for decades. When NGC first started grading coins, I guess that was about 1987 or 88. A little after that, I sent it in and had it graded. And so it's been in plastic since then.
Brad, there's an eyelid. She has an eyelid. It's got so much detail. It's a beautiful coin.
So this coin you have had for 49 years because this coin here was purchased even before I was born.
Right.
You're welcome.
She just wants to make a point.
What, you did something for me?
I just added up the years for you.
Okay, well, let me tell you, I was only 10 years old when he bought that coin.
B, you do not look like that. You're 10 years older than I am. 12 years older than I am.
Yes, I am.
You don't look like you're 12 years older than I am at all.
No, you look like you're 12 years older than I am.
I'm a kid in the head. I'm a kid in the head. That's what makes me look young.
Something.
And you're mean, Brad.
Yes, I am.
You're mean. I would just tell him at the bike rack later. When we were kids, I'd be like, hey, you, come here.
Kisses when you come to town.
Mm-hmm.
She may not want to see though.
He knows the bike rack. He knows what I'm talking about. I thought it was so funny, Nick, when they were talking about the bike rack. That is my whole elementary school experience.
I remember seeing the bike racks out in front of schools.
Well, the boys have things go on there, you know, and so I rode a bike a lot. And so there were no girls in my neighborhood, Nick. I got robbed.
So this is what you picked up Tuesday from CAC, all of these?
Well, that's one of the boxes.
Oh my word.
Oh my word. I agree with her.
It is 4:00. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to run.
She's hungry too.
I am hungry, but I got somebody coming by that I can't get out of not seeing. So
I love your new light, honey. It looks
your loan shark is coming to collect. Okay.
I miss you. I'm so Glad to see you.
I will see you
Take
guys
care
next
of
week,
yourself.
and I will have some answers on that too, because I have to go to another eye appointment tomorrow for follow up. So
Good
we're
luck.
gonna come back
See
the
you in
same
2
day,
weeks, Nick.
so-
I'll be traveling next Thursday. I won't be here.
Oh, I know Brad week. Wonder what we can accomplish.
A lot. You guys can have lots of fun next week.
I will miss you, Brad. I will.
Oh, can I say
everything-
this too, Nick? I love the little thing you did with Gunny.
Oh, that was all Gunny, because I'm not the creative side. I just do what I'm
It
told.
was so. I was just like trying
Thank
not.
you.
If I didn't know
Thank
you guys, I was cracking up. But I know you guys. So anybody else might take it seriously, but I was cracking up right here. I was just killing.
I thought it was
so
it was good. It was great what he did with it, and I just got a video saying this is what. So he showed me what he did, and he's like, "I just do this exactly, and you're golden." Because I'm not the technical side of things. You can see I'm kind of still basic, and I won't change.
But I was just thinking, I just want to give you a compliment. I thought it was
Well,
beautiful.
thank you. I appreciate that. We have that coming up this Saturday. So
See you, kiddo.
bye. See you guys later.
Bye.
Take care,
See you
Nick.
later.
Good seeing you
Take care.
again.
See you next week.
Take care.
Okay. See you next week.
Okay.
So,
Can you behave
Flordelina,
now? Can
I
you
dropped
behave
off
now?
my last group of halves Tuesday at CAC.
Yes.
When they come back, we're going to do the picture.
Okay.
Okay.
And-
Florida,
Go ahead.
Florida's not here right now. She had to go outside. She's making a phone call.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's not here right now, but that's fine.
tell her we're getting close.
Getting close to what?
The picture that she's going to take of my collection and I.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Well, I want to tell you, you might want to fix your hair in the back.
You might want to fix my hair.
Just brush your hair before you take a picture. Anyway,
What's wrong with my hair?
just go like this. There we
Huh?
go. Okay. There you go. You're good.
My hair's perfect.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm like the werewolf in London.
B, would you like to explain some of
Oh, okay. So now you see,
Ew.
now this is where I screw up, Robert, because my son told me just to click on that. So, and now it's not up here. Wait. No, see, this is where he told me to just click on it. Okay, here, let me do this. Okay. So, what I thought I'd talk about today is, it's interesting, some names of things that you might not know, or nicknames for coins and things that you might not know and might be fun. So what might be fun, Robert, is to see if I can kind of like describe it and see if they know what the nickname is. But it's up there.
It's called a
at the top.
Stella.
Yeah, see, Brad already knows. Okay, so let me just read it. Anyway, let's the most elegant sounding coins, the Stella. The Stella was a $4 gold coin minted in 1879 and 1880, intended to help the U.S. join the Latin monetary union, kind of like 19th century version of the euro, but it really never took off. Okay, let me see if I can move to the next one. Oh, wait, let me finish. I didn't finish yet. Sorry. It comes from the Latin word for star because the reverse design features a big, beautiful 5-pointed star. The coin itself became legendary mostly because many were passed around Washington as gifts or curiosities, and a number ended up with DC's socialites. Rumors flew, and the coin got a reputation as being a jewel of the capital, hence the glamorous nickname. Okay.
It was used to pay streetcar fare.
Okay, I know you know, Brad, right? Okay, here we go. So let's go on to the next one. What's this one, Brad? It says at the top, you're cheating. It's called the widow's
oh,
mite.
those are widow's mites.
Yeah. So let me see if I can. Can I make it bigger, Robert? Here, is that making it bigger, guys?
It
Am
is.
am I doing good? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. A coin with biblical fame. This one goes way back. The widow's mite is the name often given to tiny bronze coins minted in ancient Judea, usually leptons or prutas from the I don't even know if I can pronounce this word, Hasmonean or Herodian dynasties. The nickname comes from the story in the Gospel of Mark, where a poor widow donates 2 small coins to the temple treasury, all she had to live on. Over time, collectors started calling these tiny, humble coins widow's mite, even if they weren't the exact type from the parable. It's one of the few nicknames with both spiritual and emotional weight behind it.
So
Okay.
B, yeah, that was Herod's time. Remember Herod?
Yeah, from the Romans.
Yeah. Remember Herod? You are the Christ. Yes, the great Jesus Christ. Prove to me that you're no fool. Walk across my swimming pool.
He was a popular guy. Yeah, he was really popular.
If you do that for me, I'll let you go free.
We're gonna get the whole Broadway show.
Jews. What?
Never mind. Okay.
Oh,
okay. Slow down.
What year is that?
What is this, Brad?
It is a 8 reale. It is from Mexico City.
And why am I showing it?
Why you're showing it? Because it's a sea recovery from a ship.
But it says right at the top, Brad.
I can't read that. It's too small.
That's a good thing.
It's called a pillar dollar.
No. I use this coin for a reason. Okay. It's called
the one Washington threw across the river.
It's called 2 bits. Okay.
It's not 2 bits.
No. You know what? Can I finish?
No.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, more than just a phrase. You've probably heard someone say that'll cost you 2 bits. Well, 2 bits equals a quarter or 25 cents.
Yeah.
The phrase comes from the Spanish 8 reales coins.
Okay.
Okay, also known as a piece of 8. These coins were often physically cut into 8s. Hang on a second. Here you go. To make small change. So 1/8 was a bit. Say 2 bits, that's 2 eighths and 1/4 of a dollar. It's a nickname that's stuck, even though we don't actually cut up coins anymore. And some of the other people are going to know what I'm talking about when we're talking about an 1/8. Anyway, okay, next. Okay, you guys already know this one. You guys should already know this. David did a show on it. Yep. It's called the short snorter. Yep, a coin in spirit and spirits. This one, not a coin per se, but it's too fun to leave out. During World War II, service members would tape together banknotes from different countries they passed through. They were called short snorters, a play on the slang for a small drink. Okay. If someone couldn't produce their short snorter on demand, they owed everyone a drink. Some versions included coins taped to them for flair. It's a relic of camaraderie, travel, and a little friendly peer pressure. I thought it was really cool. David did a good job when he did it. Okay, next. Okay, here we go, Brad. The buzzard dollar.
That's a fake.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about what's on the back. Not so flattering when the peace dollar was redesigned in 1921.
That's not
People
a peace
expected. Well, anyway, just listen. Would you just listen for 1 second? People expected a noble eagle, but instead the bird on the reverse looked, well, kind of droopy and sad. Some collectors started calling it the buzzard dollar, saying the eagle looked more like a scavenger than a symbol of power. The name stuck around among those who weren't thrilled with the design, even though later versions redefined the look. Okay, next. Sorry. Okay, what's this?
It looks like a mega red.
Yeah, and I didn't even know about this, Brad. Because
Oh my God.
well, I didn't know about it because I have like what edition do I have?
You have
I
a mini red.
It's neato. I didn't know I could get one of those. I'm gonna get me one. Okay, so
You
yeah, a
need to
lot
get one of each because they have a different type of coin featured every year in them.
do they? I'm gonna get me
Yeah.
one. I didn't know about that. Okay, so let me read what I wrote, Brad. Give me the chance. Redbook coins, the VIPs of American numismatics. You might have heard collectors refer to certain coins as Redbook coins. This nickname isn't for a specific coin, but rather any U.S. coin that appears in the guidebook of United States coins, better known simply as the Red Book because of its iconic red cover. It's been published annually since 1946 and has become a kind of who's who of American coinage. So if someone says that's a Red Book coin, they usually mean it's a recognized, listed, and collectible piece, basically a coin with the seat at the big kids table. Okay, there you go. Next. What's this, Brad?
Well, it is either a half sovereign, a sovereign, or a double sovereign. I would guess it's a sovereign.
Well, what's the
Queen
nickname?
Victoria's sovereign.
But what's the nickname? Okay,
Sovereign.
anyway, Vicky. It's called a Vicky. Queen Victoria's pocket legacy. For British and Commonwealth collectors, the term Vicky is an affectionate nickname for coins bearing the portrait of Queen Victoria, who reigned from 1837 to 1901. There were quite a few styles of her portrait over her long reign, from the youthful young head to the stern and regal old head. Collectors often call them Vickies, especially the silver coins like the Victorian shilling or florin. It's not an official term, much like the monarch herself. The name stuck and spans generations. Okay, so let me finish out. So, whether it's biblical reference or a Latin word or just a bit of slang stuck, coin nicknames tell stories just as much as the coins themselves do. And maybe that's the takeaway for today. Even a little coin can carry a lot of meaning. There you go. That's all I have to say. Okay, let me stop sharing and let me close this. There we go.
Thank you, Pete.
You're welcome.
That's pretty cool.
It's called a Vicky, Brad. I had a friend in school named Vicky, so I just, yeah, it's neat. It's Victoria. Her and Prince Albert. Mhm. I learned all
My
that.
daughter's name is Victoria.
I learned so much, Robert, when I did the first commemorative coin. I learned so much about just history, period, let alone, the first commemorative coin with, Columbus. He was like this.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about whenever I'm looking at coins and I do research is the history part.
Oh, I eat it with the spoon, and he knows I do. Robert knows I do. I just go like this, like a cornflakes. What? And I just I can't stop. It's an addiction. It's really bad. I'm still working on the panic coins. I'm going to put that out next. The video of panic coins. What a crazy, I can't include it all in the video. It would be like 30 minutes long. Okay. But just the little tiny bit I do takes so much research, like the Leiden story, in the Swedes when they flooded the dikes so that the Spanish wouldn't take their land. I mean, it's crazy, Robert.
Isn't it Leiden?
I thought it was Leiden. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but you're right, Brad. And Leiden, in the 1500s. It's a crazy story, you guys. And I just love it.
Almost, there's so many coins, you can get a lot of history to it. And like you say, the beginning or the backstory can be a lot of fun and in depth. So,
and a lot of work if you're going to try to see. The thing about trying to make a video of it is to make it concise, not too long, and accurate, and then make the pictures match. That's the hardest part, you guys. Come on. I mean,
So in
Well,
other words,
I
the
would
hardest
do-
part is doing it.
oh, using the video editor, using a video editor. No, that to me, that's the easiest part. Is picking out what makes sense to tell a
I
story.
prefer what makes dollars.
I love to tell stories too, you know.
when I
And
was doing videos, and what I would do, Blue, is I would take and get a quick reference of the photograph, all the photographs I was going to use, and then I would have my audio. I would do it separately, but I would take, and what I would do is I would play out the whole audio and just play it out. And my audio, I could always edit it separately, but I would go through, get that done. After I got it done, I used the program where I threw my audio underneath my video, and then
that's
I
what I
would
did.
just adjust. Yeah, then I would just adjust my photographs to fit the audio.
Well, that's how I do it. I put well, you got to put one picture in, okay,
Well,
and then you
but
can
that's what I'm saying. I put them all
and then
in.
you can throw your audio in, yeah, and that's
But then I
exactly
put
how
my
I do it.
audio, yeah, on a separate
But
track.
Robert, yeah, it's hard sometimes because it doesn't
Oh,
always
I
match.
know. That's why I edit my photographs to fit the audio.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. You know, and we won't even go into it because it's so much involved. But I can tell people shortcuts and everything how to do it. It's just me getting the time because everyone in my house always wants attention. You know how that goes. But anyway, I try to squeeze it in. You know, and you know I'm good at squeezing it in because I try.
So that's why I don't take in. That's why I've not been doing any of my videos, because I just haven't had time here lately.
It's so time consuming, and you have to go back and time this, time that, cut this, cut that, make this longer, make it bigger. Oh, tell me about it. It's a lot harder than people know, you know. And I'm trying to use Da Vinci, which is even.
Oh wow! Good luck with that. That's a tough one to use.
But once you get it, Robert,
I
it's
know.
the best. It's the best.
Yep, it is. I agree. I think that's what Dustin used.
Good. Good. Yeah. Well, he's smart. I mean, the learning curve is pretty because I can watch it a couple times the video how to do it, and then sometimes it just doesn't get in my brain. But once you know me, once I get it, I get it. Yeah, I did okay today sharing my screen. It was okay. It'll get better. You know how I am. I gotta learn, and that's the only way I remember stuff is to do it myself. I don't know about anybody else, but that's how I remember stuff. I gotta do it myself.
Oh yeah, my son would try and show me to do something. It's like, let me do it while you tell me, so that if I do it a couple times, like you say, then I'll remember it.
Yeah, don't help me too much, you know. But then again, you know how that goes. Anyway, what are you doing, Brad? You're awfully quiet there. You were talking a
Counting
lot.
money.
Now you're always counting money. Yeah. I know how to do that really well. And I'm really good at OPs.
Yep.
OPM, other people's money. I hate that. But that's what they paid me to do, was to count their money. They paid me to count their money.
What do you
Do
think
you
a
guys-
bank teller does every day?
Do you guys remember Count the Money from what is his name?
Sesame Street?
Mel Brooks. No, Mel Brooks movie. It's a
Yeah.
Mel Brooks movie where he calls it Count the Money. It's Harvey Korman. Isn't it Harvey Korman? Where his name is Count the Money. Young people don't know Mel Brooks. They need to know Mel Brooks. Funny guy. Turn preview. It. You know what? I'm not sure, Aunt, but it sounds highfalutin. Hoity-toity, privy. It just sounds like you're privileged. It has.
Did you just have to go to the privy? Did you say?
I'm good at the root of word. I think it comes from privileged. Is my guess. You know, let's put that out there.
I don't know about you, Ronald, but I got paid today.
You should be going like this.
No, I'm going on vacation.
Da, 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 da.
Where are you going to, Brad?
Yeah, where are we going to?
What's this Wii stuff? I don't have a mouse in my pocket.
He's paying attention, Robert. Now we know he's paying attention. Where are we going to, Brad?
Now, what's this Wii stuff? You're not going with me. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Knoxville, Atlanta.
Oh, you going down to
Sarasota.
Gold?
You should have fun in Tennessee. You know, Tennessee. Go see some music when you go down there.
No, I'm visiting a friend. We're gonna,
Music is really happening there right now, from what I
in
hear.
Nashville it is, but he doesn't live in Nashville.
I've been down by the depository a few times, but
Are you using the privy for your depository?
I don't even know how to address that.
About, so. I
Ay,
just thought
ay,
maybe
ay.
we're going to go down there to Knoxville and make certain we have all the gold in the depository there.
I need $20. Yeah.
$20.
A double sawbuck.
To the preview mark in my 2019 Red Book glossary. Okay, he has a legitimate something to say.
When I made
What do you guys think of that?
and lunch.
That it's not mentioned. Is it because it wasn't in time enough?
Send him tomorrow.
Do you think, Robert, maybe that's why there was no mention? It wasn't because when they have a time when you have to submit information,
I think
when you're
all those books you got to go back 2, 3, 4 years. They're all compiled. Yeah, they're all compiled back in the. Brad, how long does it take whenever you give information to the Red Book for it to actually get to print and get out in public?
3 years or something, probably.
Well, no, they ask you for your opinions in September, October, and the new Red Book is on the shelf by June. It was earlier this year, so
It's not that bad.
It's a few months lag.
It's actually not that bad compared to when they were printing books. Now I call these magazines. The paper is like magazine. Like a magazine. Come on. It's like a magazine. Okay, I'll shut up. It's like a magazine. It's not real paper or anything. Okay. But it used to take a lot longer because I worked at a print shop. I know how long it takes for information and then there's a final where you can't give them any more information. They will not put it in the. So anyway,
it's called a deadline.
Thank you, Brad. I could not think of the word. I was having a brain fart and you knew it. So, but you only have so much time to do it. So go ahead, knock yourself out. Have you ever stood next to a giant press, a giant machine that puts out newspapers? You guys, they're huge.
That burns.
That's right.
They're so big, like the size of your bedroom. Okay.
How do you know how big my bedroom is?
No, I'm talking about a print machine, Brad. Pay attention. We're talking here.
You said it's as big as your bedroom.
It's like,
I know.
the machine. Yeah, it is. It's the size, and it's very loud. Very
And I'm
loud.
not telling why I know the size of his bedroom, guys.
You should not do that when people are taking something to drink. They could shoot it. That's really bad. I don't even want to know. You know,
I assure you it's not what you think.
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so Aunt, that mega red book, I'm gonna get me one. Are you kidding? That's super cool. I'm gonna get me one of those mega red books. I didn't even know they existed. I don't know everything. Nobody does. That's why we're all here to talk to each other. It's called sharing information, everyone. Share information. We can help each other. Wonderful. Uh-oh, what are you up to? I'm kind of curious what the okay, wait, let's go this way. This guy.
What?
That guy, what's he up to? I don't know. I'd always keep an eye on you. If I was around you all the time, Brad, I'd keep an eye on you.
Yeah, you know,
You're just one of them.
You objectify men. I don't know why. I mean, I feel very uncomfortable around you. Last time you were here for the coin show, you were just standing there staring at me the whole time. It makes me uncomfortable.
Take it easy. I gotta take it easy. That's a big word for you, Brad.
Uncomfortable.
Wow. Objectify. Maybe it's just you, Brad. Anyway, yeah, think about that. I hope it doesn't keep you up at night. I'm sure nothing does.
Nah, sleep like a
That's
baby.
what I thought. You sleep like a baby, bitch. Oh, is this entertaining or what, Robert? I'm totally entertained. I know that's why we like Brad. He entertains us. He's very.
I'm just sitting here.
I'm just upset. Nobody really got the other pop culture.
Oh, that was a great thing you did as far as having people describe an incident or something that happened with their coins. I think that's a great idea, Brad.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
But nobody else has chimed in, so.
Okay, well, they need to. You know,
Chime
you
in
guys.
next week. I'm sorry I won't be here, but
Yeah,
we'll probably have a record attendance next week, right, Robert?
I don't know. We'll see.
You can't do a remote.
I'll be on a plane.
You could. Oh, no, that's a little difficult. You're not the president or anything. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert. There you go, Brad. You answer that one because you will know this one more than me because you have a lot of sports where you're at in that shop.
Okay, this is a controversial thing. I think there's only this way or this way because either you think what he did was wrong or right.
So I guess Brad ain't gonna say nothing.
If you can't say something nice,
don't say anything.
Talk about Nick.
So who Pete Rose did something wrong, or did the people that took him off do something wrong? Oh, I'd be good at what I'm doing right now. You know, all the time, bugging people like you, Brad.
I read an article. I read an article the other day, I believe on USA Today, digital, but the sports writer was very succinct in saying, in his opinion, which I share, that it was a very terrible decision because it's not just about betting on baseball. So on one hand, we have betting on baseball. We have a conviction of tax evasion from the IRS. there are multiple other things that were in the Dowd report that are semi-common knowledge, at least around Cincinnati, of indiscretions of many different kinds by our friend Mr. Rose, some of which I find very disgusting. So, in my opinion, if there are any morals clauses to the Hall of Fame, he and other people that are already in there probably shouldn't be. If it's only about what happens between the white lines on the baseball field, then yes, he deserves to be there. I'll leave it at that.
Very well said. Very well said. I'm impressed because it's a tough issue to address. And I agree. If it's only about what happens on the diamond, great, but if it's in personal life, no.
Well, so Ferguson Jenkins was caught trying to smuggle controlled substances over the U.S.-Canadian border when he was a player. He's in the Hall of Fame. So does a drug conviction exclude you from being in the Hall of Fame? Obviously not. So, where do we draw the line now? So I think we very, very well have thrown the doors of the hall open in order to include Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. If we're not considering anything except what happens between the lines, because many of them, even if they did use a controlled substance to become better, Bonds never failed a drug test. He was never convicted of anything. It's all circumstantial evidence. So why are we keeping out maybe one of the greatest players ever to play the game, as well as Roger Clemens? Because if you take away the few years of each of their careers that it was pretty well accepted that they were juicing, they still have Hall of Fame numbers. Now, I'm not advocating for them to be Hall of Famers. I'm just saying that if I'm in a debate and I have to take their side of the debate, I think there's a very strong stance to allow them to become members. If I'm on the debate team that's taking the stance of keeping them out, I can find plenty of reason to argue that also. But obviously, being a convicted felon is not a prerequisite of being in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I don't know about you, Robert, but I'm pretty impressed with what Brad just verbalized. You did good.
Well, I will just say one
Robert, without
thing.
offending somebody.
Understand that when I was a kid,
Mhm.
Pete Rose was my hero.
I know.
I carried a Pete Rose baseball card in my back pocket when I played baseball, not whole baseball, when I was a kid.
Yeah. But they're not saints. He's not a saint.
They're not
He's
saints.
a baseball player. So
but some of them are a little bit more devilish than others.
Right.
You know what?
Go ahead, Robert. I want to hear what Robert has to say. Please.
Well, first off, I was going to say I haven't had a television in about 17 years, so I don't pay no attention to sports or anything like that. However, the other thing I'd like to say, B, that
you can't get a signal in the back cave.
Talks about it is they didn't have drug tests at the beginning in the 1800s. I wonder how many of them, because we did have cocaine back in the 1800s.
Which would be considered
today, yes. That's what I said. So how do you know? I mean, I just don't know. So I mean, for me to, I'm not going to try. Here's what I will say. I think the morals of America may have lowered a little bit. So letting him in, to me, what's it?
Is it the Hall of Fame or is it the Olympics? There's a difference. And
Why?
I think
Why?
everything in life has to have its,
What?
limitations or standards,
Why?
and they need to be, verified or written down or some way. Otherwise, you can't enforce something that you haven't previously told people about. You know what I'm saying?
How much has happened?
So if they were already inducted, in the Hall of Fame, they were inducted at a time when that was acceptable. You can't induct somebody unless it was completely false. What they did on the diamond was not false. There was a clone playing their position.
Well, but everybody knew Ferguson Jenkins had the conviction on his record when he was voted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so too late. I don't believe you should take that away from someone if you screw it up.
That's not my point. I'm not saying take anything away from anybody.
Okay.
I was saying that if he is in as a convicted felon,
right?
Obviously, being a convicted felon is not a reason to keep somebody else out.
Well, I mean, is it or isn't it? See, I'm on the fence. I don't really care. See what I shouldn't say this, but I really don't. I'm not really, but so I'm kind of like the average person.
God bless Ronald Harris.
Did he say something nice? Okay, nobody is perfect just because you are convicted of a crime. Like, this is what I was saying, Ronald, earlier. Look at the president. He has 34 felony convictions. Okay, so yeah, exactly. And how many presidents have been indicted? Like almost all of them. I mean, it's a huge percentage.
Not in a court of law.
No, but they've been indicted. So that's what I'm saying.
There's
Brad.
only a few of them.
No, there's more than you think.
There's only a few of them.
Look it up. There's more than you think.
Okay, you look it up and tell me.
Yeah,
I want to know the rest of the story.
Were they okay? Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. So, but I agree with you. It does
matter. You brought it up. I want to know. Look it up.
Oh, shut up. Just shut up. I'm trying to agree with you, dummy.
Andrew Johnson, Richard Nixon.
I'm trying to agree with you, dummy.
Bill Clinton.
And he's shooting himself in the foot right now. Do you like that when he shoots himself in the foot? I'm trying to agree with you. It's all about. It's all about. Well, Brad, as far as the Hall of Fame goes, it's all about what was acceptable at the time. You can't go back in history and change things. Once you've accepted, that's what I'm saying. Once you've accepted,
Google and see how many presidents have been indicted.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I was surprised, Brad.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was surprised when I found out, put it that way. I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Double check.
It was a lot more than I thought, Brad. That's all I'm saying. It was a lot more than I thought.
I have a professor here that says there's one.
Officially indicted. Okay, how about indictments filed against them? Look up that.
Wait on
all of them. All of them. It's just politics, Brad. Calm down. Okay. Just calm down. Get your panties in an uproar there.
Phil.
Don't wear panties next time, Brad. Don't wear panties.
But they're so soft.
I know, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I know. Huh? Well, I know. Hopefully no one else does. But anyway, I do. So anyway, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. There's a lot. I was just shocked when I found out how many had indictments filed, or like against them. And because you would think that someone that's, the president wouldn't do those type of things. But then again, come to find out, all depends on what your perception is of doing things. Politics is just like big circle, circle, circle. So it doesn't matter what you say. It really doesn't. What does Sharon say? Many of our leaders have committed crimes against humanity. I agree. Unfortunately, they'll never be charged. I agree. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. Can you put that up, Robert? His last.
And we already saw it. It's right there, B.
Okay.
It's right there.
Now I'm going to give you the.
Okay.
Yeah, you get one of those.
So can we get back to numismatics, please?
Why? Is that what you do? Is that what you do?
Doodly doodly doo doo doo. Yes.
You know,
Any new numismatic
No,
question?
I'm thinking it's funny. I wish I had that blocked out. I would show you guys something really cool.
Our current president is the only one to be officially indicted by the court of law.
Well, that's what I said. But how many have been filed? Like every president, there's somebody that, you know, files an indictment or tries to indict every single president.
So, talking about
Never
numismatics,
Never mind.
have a numismatic question, B?
No, I don't.
You don't? Why not?
I just want to know why you're so stubborn and why you think that was a point on me. It wasn't, because everybody else knew what I was talking about. Except you. Yeah, they've all had indictments filed against them. Every single one of them. Look how
Okay,
many
Bill,
of them.
457. I love the baseball coin and the basketball coin. They're great. I like the fact that the Mint finally got out of their own way and made a medal instead of a coin.
Can you please put up Ronald's last comment? I think it's funny. I'm dying.
Only when we get a $3 bill.
I think it's funny.
We've already had a $3 bill, Brad, and you know that.
Yeah, but
Try again.
not the Federal Reserve 3.
Well, there's a lot of Federal Reserve that we have not had. One thing, well, I won't say.
How does that go, Brad? 1, 2, tree. One,
There's trees outside.
Me and you'd be going to the bike rack. I swear to God. Bike rack, 6th grade. Come on. Oh, you guys have middle school in back there. It's like 5th grade. Okay, how about 5th grade? 5th grade. Come on.
Oh, I haven't heard about those.
I found a few.
Can we get a picture sometime, Jammin?
Cool. That'd be cool, Jammin. That'd be cool. I want to see it because I have several of them. You know, because I've been collecting the women's corners. It's fun, and especially when they're brand new and they're just beautiful. We get lucky here. We get a lot of really nice coins in the state I'm in. Very nice. Like, I could probably pick some out really quick here. They're so nice. It's hard
Is the die clash on the obverse or the reverse?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The die clash, wouldn't it be on both?
Not necessarily.
Only if they would change the die.
Not necessarily, Robert, because if the two dies have a different Rockwell hardness, the harder one is going to impress into the softer one and not vice versa.
Brad, die clash. That means one has got to hit something else. Die clash. It's not a die mark, it's a die clash.
Right. But what I'm saying, less likely on new coins, but on old coins, a lot of times, because one die was a lot harder than the other one, when they clashed, only one die received clash marks from the action. Yes.
That was not the rule of thumb, I assure you. ask anybody who is familiar with error coins, and they will tell you that each year, I would say the majority, if not all, dies are mixed very much the same hardness, all that. And when you get a clash, you're going to get it on probably 99.999%
of the
Those-
new coins
of the new
in the 18th
coins.
century. It
Of
was
the
different.
new coins, I would assure you that the even higher percentages are similar, and you're not going to see it on just one coin. I'm just saying, I'll bet that number would be, like I said, the only time I've ever known of the clash being done that you do not see it on both sides of the coin is when they switch out the die. Okay, Flora, thank you.
Bust
Flora, well.
must-haves have many examples.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
curious. I'm very curious because the one that I have, you can kind of see something in front. It's weird. Yeah. But I got some beautiful stuff.
All right. Oh, that's really cool.
Okay, so wow, yeah, that's like a little obvious. It's a little obvious. We get it. Wow.
No offense, but this is the reverse of the die clash. This
Okay,
is the obverse of the die
I get
clash.
it, Robert. I agree that on 20th and 21st century coins, both dies received impressions from each other because they're of equal hardness. But in the old days, that wasn't the case.
So what are you saying, Brad? With the 90% silver, what kind of reaction did you get then?
No, it's not this. It's not the silver B. It's the steel of the die.
Okay,
So
what happened?
In the old days, hardening of the dies was like Kentucky windage. Are you familiar with Kentucky windage?
I just want to hear it all. No, not necessarily. No, I've never.
Okay. No. When they hardened the dies in the old days, they would heat the dies and they would look at them and go, yeah, that looks about right. And then they would quench them. So there was not temperature control.
I know what quenching is.
It was kind of by feel. So some of the steel would be harder than other pieces of steel.
I gotcha.
Okay. The harder the steel would impress itself on the softer steel, but the softer steel could not impress itself into the harder steel. Physics. So there was a lot of time in bust coinage that the obverse or the reverse die was much harder than the other die. And when they clashed, only one of them impressed its image into the other.
I gotcha. Now, is that what you were saying, Robert? What were you saying, Robert?
Honey, what I'm talking about is on the Rockwell hardness test.
Okay.
I'm saying throughout history, even back in the 1800s when he's talking.
Okay.
Granted, everything he said is correct, but the technology was similar back then as it was today. Today, yes, everything's gotten harder. Agreed. But back then, everything was softer. So I tended to think that if it was a clash die, it happened on both sides of the die. And I think what he might be confusing is one die was replaced because sometimes when they clashed, one of the dies would have gotten destroyed 100% because they were weaker metals back in the day.
Okay, so now we have kind of a debate. Yeah, so both of you need to find out what the dies were made of back then.
I already know. Steel.
No, what total? 100% steel? There wasn't anything mixed in. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. There was something mixed in. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, we'll find that out. Hopefully, somebody in the chat will do a little more research than these two guys and find out if the steel was mixed with anything else.
I think this is one. Well, you have to go by a percentage. I don't know. Well, the reason I say that, if you remember, I said 99.999%.
Yeah.
I am allowing a very, very, very small window.
Look at these guys.
I don't agree with you, Brad, and I think that you'll find out. Let's see.
I'm going to find out just because you disagree. It's so fun. Okay. Anyway, you guys are disagreeing about it. I'm going to have to do a little research on that next time.
When you
B, start by researching blister steel.
Oh, I will, because I know a little bit about steel.
Then you can also look into You can also look into the Rockwell hardening test.
Yes, I've heard of that. Totally heard of it.
There's just two things for you to do. Pete, I'm trying to remember his name. Pete, and damn it, I'm drawing a blank. I apologize, Pete, if you're listening. But one of the guys on our channel on Facebook, he actually wrote a few articles on the Rockwell hardening test on coins, because some of the coins from back old, you can actually find the markings on the coin bee that show that coin has actually had a Rockwell hardening test done to the die.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because
hey, Robert.
Yes.
Ronald Harris is trying to get rid of us today.
That's okay.
Okay, but still, I'm gonna make a little comment on what he's saying. Yeah,
and Bill, I agree with you. They did have a lot of problems with the kneeling back then in the old days.
Yeah, kneeling.
But, okay, but
that's the word I was looking for.
Okay, but he's right with the annealing process. That's basically sort of kind of what Brad was saying. But the annealing process, all I'm saying is back then in the 1800s, the annealing would have been similar for both the obverse and the reverse, just like today. The steels are harder and you have a similar strength today as you would have back then. Was there more of a variance back then? I agree with that, Brad. Yes, I agree. But I think you might be leaning a little heavy there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll look into it and see. We'll find out.
I'm so doing it because you guys are like.
Yeah, I'm not changing my opinion on it because I know way too much about the dye process. I've looked into it too much.
And how the dye is made.
Yes.
Dye is the important part, Brad, of this conversation.
The beauty.
That's all I've been talking about.
Same here.
Oh, okay, guys. Okay. Like it wouldn't matter that the composition of the coins has changed.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Either way.
Yeah, it has. Duh.
Hey, listen, it's Bill 457. Yeah. You know what? I will look into, guys. I'll see if I can't find a little bit more of the history. Because I mean, the best part of it is there is a lot of documentations of dye making even back then, and I have I've looked into a lot of it. Go ahead.
Cooper dyes in coinage. Cooper on the minting process. Gosh, I can't remember the title though. Dennis Cooper though.
I don't know. I know that Fred Weinberg and Arnie Margolis went into the dye making. Well, Arnie more so went into the dye making process
of the 20th century. Both of them got stuck in the 20th century. Neither one of them understood the 19th century very well.
Does that matter?
I don't know that I'm not certain about that because
It doesn't matter.
I've seen dyes.
I've had too many arguments with them.
Depends on what they
With who?
report that's true, Brad.
I'm telling
Robert-
you right now, I'm just looking at
Robert,
logic.
if you were just talking about the 20th century in
Nope.
in what you're talking about, I would agree with you 100%. But when you get back to the pre-Liberty seated times, and even into Liberty seated, but pre-Liberty seated times especially, the further back you go, the more primitive the steel making process was. The more primitive the steel making process was, the bigger difference in the dyes, and that's where you have your problems.
Well, everything you just said, okay, I agree with, but the one thing that I'm saying, I don't think it was significant enough because you still have, let me finish, please. You still were using the same metal. You wasn't using metal with candium or nickel added to it, as opposed to this one being made with brass and
Rhodium is what they covered it with.
All right. Well, I need to put together a couple of programs, one on dye bulges and one on clash dyes.
Hustle it up. You know,
So,
I come prepared every week.
I'll work on that when I get back from vacation. So since we only have 3.5 minutes left.
Is he always on vacation?
Huh?
You're on vacation a lot. Just
I'm
like
not.
the lottery guy that used to come into the bar. He was always on vacation. Holy crap, Azini. Anyway. Yeah.
That has
Work
been-
on it, Brad. I come prepared every
There's a
week.
certain combination of bleach and detergent that'll do that. Hi.
I'm not saying a word because I could say something.
Can we say goodbye?
it's 3 minutes. So if you want to start it, we can. I
Okay.
don't mind. If you
Go
got to
for
get going, I know you got to get
Start
past.
with him.
I have to go home and cut the grass before I go on vacation.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. And I know, not only have I been in his wife's bedroom, but I've also seen his yard. He's got a big yard.
Is it any good?
2 acres.
Is it better homes than gardens?
I've got to cut 2 acres.
Do you have to go around the pond tonight?
Around the pond, you're right.
That's
There are
what I
geese
heard.
on the pond and frogs and
Yeah.
turtles and I
And
saw
you can
my
live in a
first,
trailer. And you can live in
I saw
a
my
trailer,
first
Brad.
groundhog in the backyard the other day. So
Oh,
I'm going to go
George.
groundhog hunting one of these days.
You're blessed.
go.
You are so blessed to have something that big.
Something to shoot.
Think about it. To mow. Some people don't even have a car to sleep in. So
Yeah, well, that's their fault. They didn't work hard enough.
they didn't work hard enough. Okay.
All right.
needed to say that.
Good night, everybody. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I'll be gone next week, but back the week after. So Nick promised she would fill in next week and be the antagonist for everybody. So tune in and give her a hard time for me. Take care. We'll see you all soon. Robert.
Okay, first of all, I want to address I'll see you later, antagonist. That's really cute. And have a good time on your vacation again. Didn't you just take a vacation? But anyway, I want to say goodbye to everyone. Thanks for coming. I want to thank Robert for having the show and Brad for coming and Nick for coming. I miss Nick. And welcome home, Flordelina. Good to see you. And I'll see you all later. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Tune in. Well, not next week, but the following week, which that's good. That'll give me an extra week to look up on the dye process. See if, who knows what I can find. But I'm going to look into it and see if I can't get some more information on the history of it. So you guys can join in on all that. Yes, of course, welcome back to my Salico, and I'm having a great time. Nice to see Nick back. Thank you, Nick. Tomorrow night, right here, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to have a show and sell, so I hope to see you here then. And guys, if you happen to be looking at corn between now and then, happy hunting. Y'all have a good evening. Love y'all. Good night.